What is that? What are those hieroglyphics? I'm on holiday. They're using European vocabulary. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm on holiday. Merry Christmas, by the way, if you're watching this when this video was recorded. By help me, she wants me to do it for her, right? She barking after all. First of all, after all the times I've saved her, why is she barking orders to me? Princess. This is a game. This was the GameCube game, I want to say, because I did play the original N64 game and the GameCube game when it launched. But yeah, I did play this game in Mario 64 when it came out in the Nintendo 64. Don't remember much about it. I remember a bit of backtracking in Mario 64, but not much else about it. In fact, was that game ever re-released on the Switch? I don't think it was. Because people were still complaining about this game having like a 30 FPS that it couldn't even hold. Like again, like why would a GameCube game run at 30 FPS on a Nintendo Switch? Well, they redid the visuals. Unfortunately, they didn't optimize the engine. That's really what it's about. They rebuilt the game from the ground up, but didn't exactly. But they didn't optimize the engine they were using. So that's kind of stinks. But then again, what did the original game run at? Like, what did the original game run at? 30 or 60? I don't remember. I'm not spending $80 to find out either. Just saying. Do I have Color Splash over here? I have to check my Wii U collection. So I don't think I have Color Splash around here. Does the tale involve the name of the city being Rogue? I do like how much this game always leaned into the hyper flat visuals, which is why it's so weird the game doesn't run at 60 frames a second all the time anyway. You get a game over if you start playing again from the title screen. Can do. Sassy lass. I was going to scream now. Must have been smelly if a noseless mushroom thought you were smelling. course not. Mr. Man, that's your boy. Freak of the week. Yeah, don't sweat the details. Just keep attacking until he dies. Hold left, or at least when it lights up. Didn't get the proper timing, did I? Sad on me. Didn't know it was that kind of Nintendo game. Thanks, Japan. Did I hit him? What? I don't think I got the critical hit. Timing determines if you get the critical hit. Got him? Down he goes. I think that's experience. Yes!
Oh, yeah!
Punish him. Pretty sure I saw this in Matrix Reloaded. Can't go that way. Guess it wasn't go time. Johnson. Johnson's like, what's... Yeah, you, Johnson.
Oh, yes.
Guess they didn't recognize him with the big M on his hat.
Oh! Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I never embraced that possibility. I've saved her like at least 7 times by this point, maybe 8. By the time this game came out, I think I saved her like 10 times. Might have been a dozen by this point. No, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Yoshi's Island doesn't count. Mario 64, Super Mario RPG, which I think I saved her twice. I think I saved her twice in Super Mario RPG. Paper Mario 64 she might have been in. She wasn't in Super Mario Land. Okay, so what does she do? For a second, tell me about that person or object. Press X to learn about a person. So she's basically like, hey, listen, all the time, right? She actually helps in a fight too, which is good. Can I press X to explain that all over again? Tattle. Guess she's not such a useful piece of information after all. Yeah, it's great. She just doesn't know what we need to know to advance. She knows just enough to not be that helpful. Yeah. So she's the hey listen fairy from Zelda. She just doesn't know enough to actually be of any use. I mean, she'll be helpful in a fight, I suppose. Nasty swords. That's where we can grind up, huh? So press ZL and the game just tells you, okay, this is what we can do next. I understand that. Let me go back to the menu. I'm also playing this on a 4K OLED TV, and it looks pretty good on the OLED. It's one of those games I think that the visuals hold up, even if you're playing on a big screen, like a big 4K screen like this. Obviously a lot of Switch games don't. Like, I wouldn't play Mario on this. I wouldn't play Skyrim on this television, but this will do. I remember playing Arkham Asylum on this TV. The Switch version of Arkham Asylum looked pretty good. So, props to Nintendo for that. I mean, they were somewhat forward-thinking, although, I mean, there are a lot of games you would not want to play on a big 4K set. But this is one of the... This one's okay. The Tattle log. By the way, isn't there like a... I have to go back to the title screen to actually delete some stuff, which I can do at the end of this video. Because I already made a bunch of saves. So that's good. I just wanted to do a save from the start because I was looking at I only spent half an hour on this game, like when I played this game a year ago. Like I played this game in August of 2024, and apparently I never made a video about it. I was just setting things up. But since it's Christmas, I'm trying to play old retro games, and this is a game that I forgot that I got from the library, and I already played a bunch of Tomb Raider games. Have I mentioned in the past how creepy it is that this noose is just sitting here in the middle of town? Kind of creepy for a kid's game, am I right, Nintendo? But not next time, man. Yeah, may the odds always be in your favor. Don't gamble, kids. Unless you're playing video games, I guess. So, wait, there's supposed to be something here. Because I thought there was supposed to be something here. Why else would this place be? Well, it might be like a setting for a future fight. Like maybe another narrative trigger will be figured here. Hold on. Yeah, there might be like a narrative trigger over here. They do have some nice touches here. Like the reflective surfaces here are kind of a nice touch. Stuff that wasn't in the GameCube game, I would assume. I think they just rebuilt this game using the Unreal Engine, but they didn't really optimize it that well, so that kind of stuck. I mean, again, a game like this doesn't really need to be 60 FPS, for being honest. I tried to whack you with the mallet, but I guess you weren't a bad guy, so we're not going to worry about that. You weren't a mob. Yeah, the heat came down, see? I'm so sly. I can't read any of that. But there is a map, right? Mario Party Gear. There's your map. That's not a particularly helpful map, but thank you. Why? Yeah, that's not a particularly helpful map. So they said we're looking for Professor Frankly. So the question is, if there's no map to navigate this town, I just have to make sure I'm going in the right direction. I guess I won't get lost. I don't think there's that many places at this part of the game. Okay, I barely remember this part, but okay. Squish. I found it. Fine. So maybe I think I was supposed to break that. I can always just restart the game, save, and find out. So she's going to be the gatekeeper. She's going to be the narrative gatekeeper, huh? What was this? So I played a tiny bit of Color Splash on this channel. The Wii U version of the Wii U Paper Mario game. I know I played the N64 version when it launched. I think I rented it from Blockbuster at the time. But I don't remember if I want to say this is definitely the GameCube version. So that's heals or healing items. Restores flower points, which I believe are mana. Cures ailments. Does burn damage. I believe puts enemies sleep immobile. That's cool. We're not going to use any of that. Yeah, listen to me. Stay a while and listen while I explain how to buy stuff in a video game, which I've never done before. Then again, I'm always curious, like, what is, for younger gamers, what is their first RPG? Because obviously I mentioned before, I played Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior on the NES as my first RPG. No. I think we'll be fine. Now, with that said, I guess I can store. What points do I need? Well, those are the points I get for actually buying stuff, right? So it has that system. Like Skyrim has a system like this, too. So it's a frequent shopper club, I guess. Again, this is stuff you can add if you're making an RPG Maker game. That's definitely stuff you can ask. That's definitely stuff you can add. But that's arguably something where if you don't really like commit to it, it just becomes like a completionist thing. Like I said, if you want to make a game that's not so much about combat, but make a game that's more about like exploration and trading, then yeah, you could develop a game that's mainly about trading with other people. Like, I just thought this, right? I was wondering, like, if I were to make an RPG Maker game about like collecting old video games, like, I think it'd be cool to, like, instead of collecting Pokemon, you collect video games. That might be interesting. It's just that if you're going to have a merchant-based system, the question is, how do you do the math behind it? So that's not just you breaking the system by, like, just selling a bunch of copies of old sports games. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, again, if you were doing a game that's based on exploration, it's like, okay, like, you could, like, talk to NPCs and they can tell you how to find, they can tell you about, like, old video games they love playing and where they go to buy them. And they say, hey, you've heard of this game, but you've heard of this obscure game I've never heard of. You're one of us. We're going to do a field trip sometime. You should definitely go visit it. It's a great place. Hey, you might see our president over there. Or you might see one of our former presidents works there now. One of our former members works there now. Like that kind of thing. Maybe you can go on social media and find out about weird games you never heard of before. But the idea would be if you want to make a game that's about exploration and harvesting and gathering and trading, that could work. mean, I guess you could also set up your own shop. You could be a reseller. That might be interesting, I guess. But again, I'm always thinking, like a game like this doesn't really work. The combat wouldn't work in an RPG Maker-like game. But you could probably fake it by changing the way combat works so that it's not... I mean, it could still be menu-driven. It's just that how would you do the critical moves? Because I'll have to double-check. I don't think RPG Maker allows any real-time elements. But the point is that you don't really need them. Like, if you want to make Expedition 33 in RPG Maker, I guess. The whole point would be to figure out how to rebalance the game so that it works as a game with turn-based combat. Because, again, the exploration is actually not that hard. Just a matter of how you set up the maps and how you lay them out and that kind of thing. But, I do have RPG... I have a version of RPG Maker on the PS4. I think I don't think I made a video about it yet, but the problem with RPG Maker is that you're basically learning how a very basic RPG works in terms of like laying out a town and setting up basic menu-driven combat. So if you want to make the next Dragon Warrior 1, it's actually not that hard. But if you want something that's more sophisticated, then yeah, you're gonna have to start doing stuff like logic. Because, if you don't care about the visual element, you can literally just make a text adventure and do turn-based combat based on that, if you want combat at all. But the idea of RPG Maker is that you can create, you can easily create a map with a navigable space, top-down, design your game around that, and then iterate on that. But I mentioned before, like, I wouldn't want to make like a conventional RPG. I would just use the town as like a hub area and limit the amount of walking around you had to do. Because if you were going to walk around at all, it would be to find quest givers, things like that, set up side quests. But ultimately, I would want everything to be menu driven. But that's what a lot of hub areas are in a lot of these games. They're just ways for you to access a menu option. I've mentioned in the past, Phantasy Star Portable and the PlayStation Vita does that. It's the original PlayStation Portable game is node-based in terms of you go to a town, there are nodes on the town that you move your cursor over, and that's where you go. It's cheap, but it conveys the sense of exploration that comes with wandering around a map and talking to individuals that basically, they're the equivalent of nodes. So it streamlines a lot of that town-based exploration. But if you want like a bustling town, like a Skyrim or a Xenoblade Chronicles, and yeah, maybe you want like an overworld map with a bunch of NPCs you can communicate with, so that's cool. So this guy was actually easy to find. I appreciate that. Just a second. Let's bring the beat back. Right on. Right on, right on. Did Mike Drucker work on this script? Like, did he work on the localization for this script? I think he might have worked on Color Splash. Now they tell me. Time to get moving. But first things first, we should probably save the game. What? Yeah, so we're going down. Yeah, so it's like Riften. You gotta go down to the thieves. You gotta go down to the sewers and visit the Thieves Guild. This is where Skyrim got it from. Fine. wish this game had a 60 FPS so I can do those button timings, you know what I mean? We got a parry system in this game. Ha! Yep. Whoops. Okay. Hey! Nope. What do you mean too soon? Okay, fine. Okay. So it's right when it hits it. So it's when it hits his nose. It's not when it hits his head. It's when it hits its nose. So that's the trick. So again, this game is a parry system, just like Expedition 33. Am I right? Yeah. So yeah, RPGs with parry systems. Am I right? Is that right? Just do an A. Yeah. Let me just try. Let me just see if I can practice when that helmet makes contact with my nose, because that seems to be the timing I need. But again, if this game were running at 60 frames a second, it'd be easier to get that proper timing. But it all depends on. Yeah, it basically all depends on timing. Not so much. It's not so much about the sprites. It's about the timing. Oops, yeah, I missed there. So we'll keep practicing that, of course. Got it. At the parry counter. Parry like Daigo, am I right? Yeah, that music's very bad, by the way, so I'm sorry you had to hear that. Not really impressed with the music so far, unfortunately. Imagine, RPG with mediocre music. The nerve. It's a bit too, like, jaunty and cheerful, I would argue. I can feel it's kind of obnoxious. Outstanding. Yeah, I just thought it was obnoxious. So that's too bad. So let's go down to the Riften sewers and talk to the guy who can fix my face. I heard there's a guy in Riften who can fix your face. Oh, there's your save. Good to know, I guess. Aha! I figured there'd be something behind here. Okay, I didn't mean to leave. But I'll take credit for that save spot. Didn't I see you in Final Fantasy? I'm good. Well, I guess, remember, I already saved my games. I guess I can just spam that, right? So let's cheat a little bit. Then we'll restart the game. Well, I haven't seen a catwalk yet. Now we're good. Oh, okay, that's cool. I don't want to know what that implied. So I guess she's I don't know if she's like a Castlevania 2 fortune teller who gives me fake hints, like hitting my head on Deborah Cliff or something. Okay, that's cute. Oh, maybe I didn't. I might not have hit that yet. Okay, so we're gonna get our money back. So basically, it's like you spend money figuring out where stuff is, and you just reload the game save. It's amazing. Hold on. Sorry about that. So instead of grinding for money, you can just spend your money on things you would otherwise buy by grinding. Get what you need, then just save scum to get your money back. It's an OG trick. Works great in a lot of games that charge you for things that you don't intend to keep. Save scumming. So we're not going to do that. I can't jump over here. I'm not wild about some of the visuals here, unfortunately. Like, I like the hyper flat visuals on the characters. So it kind of works with the belt scrolling view they got going on here. Wait. I see the crack. How does the crack not break? Huh, you lied to me, video game. Why would you put a crack there if I couldn't break it with my mallet? What? Oh, great. It's the Morlocks. Yeah. Goombella does the flying headbutt, so I guess we'll have her go first. Want to attack the brother in front. Head bonk. Got a 2-hitter. So have him use the mallet. Got it. Outstanding. Yeah, I got the perfect block. So remember, she can jump. So I think you can only do the QTE once. I don't think you can. I don't think you can repeatedly bounce on his head like in Super Mario RPG. I think let you do that. I'm just kind of cheating. I think you could like one-shot bosses if you got the timing right. But I think it might have been some kind of thing where every time you successfully landed on the enemy's head, it tightened the window that you had to do to get the second to land on him a second time. So you can if you jumped on an enemy's head and you properly pressed the button press, I think it reduced the frame window or whatever. It reduced the timing window where you could successfully do it the next time. So if the game gave you, like, say, a generous 6-frame window to land that button press, you might only get, I don't know, maybe 5 the second time. Okay, so I went the wrong way. I needed to go up and around. There we go. Does this lead to a secret area, or does this lead to a... We're going to find out in a second. Did I take any damage? I don't think I took any damage there, by the way. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back here in a second. See, like I said, I like the hyper flat characters, but the environments don't look amazing. So that's kind of a disappointment. Can't go there. So I can't go that way. So it might be a secret area I can get to. Just can't do it here. Maybe I get some super boots later so I can jump higher. So the plan is to go up and over that area. Nope. Okay. No reason to complicate things. Just walk on it. Haha. They'll come back later. Don't worry. They aren't dead. They're like the NPC. They're like the NPCs in Skyrim. They eventually find out where you're going. They eventually teleport back to you. I got initiative. Haha. Get bent. One shot. So I guess, so you use your hammer to gain initiative in a fight. So if you whack the enemy with a hammer before the fight starts, or if you initiate the fight by whacking an enemy with a hammer, you go first. You get the initiative. See? Right. I'll take that. Okay, so you can press up for that. Is it just a shortcut key? Alright, so down, up, left, right. So right doesn't do anything. That's weird. Well, maybe later in the game it does. So there's a shortcut key. It just saves you a couple of extra button presses. So that's not terrible. Earn 100 points to go up a level. Well, normally it would be 100 points for an extra life, but whatever. Bandage points. But I don't have bandages yet, so we'll get that. Boost a partner's rank. A smart, if sassy, Goomba girl. Well, the professor isn't helping us. Guess he's too old to whack. He's also not wearing a helmet. That's probably why he doesn't whack people in the head. Eat it. Yeah. So we got stealth combat too. That's pretty good. I'm gonna have to cut all these spikes out of the video because I'm switching off the audio so I can hear myself think. Let's see. He's got a fire flower. I don't know what that's about, but whatever. Right. Hold on. I got a ring. Just a second.